It accidentally knocked over a figurine on the table. Suddenly, a loud noise came from outside the door. He suspiciously went outside to check, but he was horrified to discover his most important friend had fallen to the ground. Life is always so unpredictable. No one knows whether tomorrow or an accident will come first. After the friend's passing, a quiet log cabin in New Jersey and a toy store in the city were left to fend. But the toy store was scheduled for demolition in 6 weeks. It could only move to the cabin outside the city, although it was on desolate land. Its beauty and tranquility were its advantages. Ben carried his luggage, following the winding railway. The magnificent cereal on the way added warmth to his dull journey. These were the most precious gains of his long trek. As time passed, he finally saw the long-anticipated cabin. It was a derelict stop next to the railway. At that moment, a fine drizzle fell from the sky, as if to welcome the new occupant. This also meant a fresh start was about to begin here. The rusty iron gate slowly opened with the sound of raindrops. Inside, everything was counted with no electricity or water. There wasn't even a bed, only a dusty sofa to rest on. Thinking about spending the days ahead in this house, Ben felt a bit dejected, but he recalled the moments when he was ridiculed by those people. Perhaps this place is his best home. At this moment, he finally had a home of his own. The next morning, Ben woke up from the sofa. He planned to buy some daily necessities at a nearby supermarket. He saw a food cart prominently placed at the door. Ben went to buy a cup of coffee and asked for directions to the supermarket, but the owner of the food cart was quite chatty. After briefly introducing himself, he spilled all his personal details. He almost completely forgot about running the food cart. This cart belongs to my dad. He can't get out of bed because he's ill. I'm just helping him take care of the business. Ben felt this man wasn't selling anything, but was just looking for someone to talk to. So he reminded him when his coffee would be ready. After getting his coffee, Ben made a quick reply and turned to leave. Hey, do you live around here? Yes. When he returned home, Ben found the mailbox on the ground. He sighed, realizing the house needed some more repairs. But on the way to the supermarket, he nearly had an accident. Ben was horrified to discover that a car coming toward him seemed ominous. As he swayed unsteadily in a serpentine path, it got closer. Ben felt that something was very wrong. In the midst of chaos, he plunged into the woods. A woman, still shaken, afraid her negligence could cost someone their life. So she hurriedly got out to assess the situation. Ben stood up on stability when she said it was safe. Grateful her quick response saved her life. The woman rushed forward to ask about Ben's injuries. It turns out she was looking for her glasses while driving, resulting in her inability to steady the steering wheel. Now she could barely stand but still helped the other. Seeing the other was unhurt and taking it lightly, she quickly offered to give her a ride. Ben had experienced the woman's driving skills. There was no way she would ride with her again. She hurriedly waved her hand to refuse and said goodbye. Unexpectedly, the reckless driver approached the food truck owner and bought a cup of coffee from him and learned from him at the bridge. That little guy lives in a small cabin up ahead. To avoid another collision with Ben, the woman decided to leave this trouble spot quickly. Unexpectedly, they encountered each other again on the way back. Oh my, it's him again. Instinctively, the woman put down her coffee and focused on driving. But worry, Lord Heck, this cutting coffee spilled onto the seat. Frantically navigating, she swerved erratically, then leapt in disbelief at the car coming towards her. Clearly, that car was heading straight for me. Without hesitation, he jumped back into the woods. Oh no! This reckless driver was also quite frustrated. I wonder how I ran into him again. So letting him guard stage G, the woman quickly got out and kept explaining it wasn't intent, but Fan firmly believed the woman was intentionally targeting him. Yet, kind-hearted as he was, he chose not to pursue it. Instead, he lamented why he went out today. Back at the station, Fan intended to calm his emotions. Just then, Joe caught up. He sincerely invited him for a drink. This sudden warmth made Fan feel quite uncomfortable, so he declined his unexpected kindness. No, thanks. What do you want to do later? Go for a walk. Cool, can I join? If I don't exercise, I'll get fat. I prefer to walk alone. He wandered aimlessly along the tracks by himself. Unbeknownst to him, the little black girl was all in him, so he friendly turned around to greet her. Hi. The girl ran away, and didn't take the girl's odd behavior to heart, because he was already accustomed to the world's indifferent. Late at night, there was a rapid knock at the door. Ben was suspicious since it was his first day and he had no friends. How could it be at the door? He slowly opened the door. It turned out to be Ollie, who had driven haphazardly during the day. Don't worry, I didn't drive. She brought a bottle of red wine as housewarming gift for him, and she apologized for what happened earlier today. Still don't know your name? It's Fenla. Good name. We learned that Fen's friend had passed away, came here to escape the pain. Couldn't help but feel that her own son also passed away 2 years ago. Watching the woman speak of pain so easily, they couldn't help but feel heartbroken, unsure when the two fell asleep. Awakened by the sound, Ollie, instantly alert in the unfamiliar environment, realizing she slept on someone else's couch, Ollie planned to sneak away before Fan woke up, but was spotted by Joe outside in a rush. Didn't catch the train last night? Ollie awkwardly greeted him, and hurriedly drove away. Watching the slowly disappearing figure, Joe couldn't help but sigh. He hadn't spoken to Ollie in this past month, yet Fan could invite her to stay on her first day here. He was filled with curiosity about this little one, so he brought a cup of freshly brewed coffee to knock on Fen's door, wanting to learn the secrets of wooing women. At this moment, a phone rang. As Fen wondered why she didn't have a phone, Joe acted quickly, picking up the phone Holly left on the couch, and handed it to the dish fan at the door. Sitting on the couch looking ready to watch the show. Clearly, no matter how Fen explained at the moment, all seeing weak and powerless. Fortunately, the meal car arrived with business. He had to leave first, but at the door he reminded Fen, "Hey, wait a minute. Next time she comes looking for you, can you call me? We don't have any plans. I mean, if there are. But we don't." "Okay, I meant any." "So cool. Idol. Amazing." It's only been here 3 days. Yeah, he's become someone else. This left him a bit bewildered. After taking up Fen arrived at Ollie's place, put his phone on the bench by the door. Without even saying hello, he turned and left. Then went to the library after leaving Ollie's house, because he was too sure. The librarian was startled by him while organizing books. "Oh, I'm sorry." He wanted to borrow a book here, but he was told he needed a library card. That needs to exchange emails to apply. He knew he can't provide the necessary materials. At that moment, Ollie appeared nearby to help him out, allowing Fen to borrow a book under her name temporarily. The idea was because he wasn't used to accepting kindness from strangers. Fen declined her offer, but back home, a book was neatly placed at the door. It's exactly the one he wanted to borrow. It's obviously delivered by Ollie. Joe at the door praises him once again. Idol. After that day, Joe stuck around to learn from his idol. He was always following him. When Ben sat by the river watching trains, Joe would come over to look at the train guide for a while, but he's not the quiet type at all. In no time, he was playing nearby. On the way back, Joe kept talking behind Ben, but Ben's replies seemed so mature and steady. During their conversation, Joe saw Ollie coming back from shopping. He wanted Ollie to take him home. "Can you take me back? My feet are killing me." Brand Ollie initially wanted to make an excuse, but seeing Ben nearby, she kindly gave them a ride home. To show thanks, Joe warmly invited Ollie to stay for dinner. He planned to impress him, to cook a delicious meal for Ben and Ollie. Ben expressed that his dream was to take a camera and film a documentary about chasing trains, but he didn't have a camera, and he couldn't chase fast trains on foot, while Joe's dream was just to wish for his father's safety and help. But as soon as he finished speaking, suddenly a phone rang. While his father called to ask his son for help finding medicine, he had to leave first, leaving only Fen and Ollie. They awkwardly locked eyes. "Langnock is really delicious." We don't need to find topics, just focus on eating. "I don't mind, it's fine." Their relationship progressed rapidly. Fen is no longer alone. There's always a little tail behind him when he walks. They strolled closely along the railroad. They stayed at this all afternoon. During those times when Fen didn't want to go out, the two sat next to a dining car. A cup of coffee and a book could keep them occupied for a long time. But as a chatty person, Kia couldn't help but want to talk. Yet Fen reminded him, "You promised not to chat with me." "I haven't said a word in 20 minutes. 9 minutes. Are you still timing it? You're something else." Time flows by quietly like water. Ollie bought Fen a camera, hoping he could use this camera to film his own documentary. With the camera in hand, Fen rushed out to chase the speeding train. Gal was driving the dining car pulling him along. The two embarked on their dream-chasing journey. Fen sat with the camera on the fast-moving dining car. Gal rambling on, and the train was lit by, fade away. This is the happiest day of his life, but joyful experiences are always short and fleeting. They return to their quiet life. They started to walk, watch trains, and read. The only difference this time is a new companion. The three of them on the trucks, enjoying the beautiful scenery on the way. After ensuring no trains would pass, three sat down on the ground eating beef jerky, looking at the beautiful views beside the railway. Just like that, they happily spent the afternoon. Back at home, Kale couldn't help but play supper in front of his terrace. With a few children, watching the bouncy little boy, Ollie remembered her deceased child. A wave of sadness surged in her heart. To avoid affecting others' moods, Ollie had to force a smile to say goodbye to Fen. Fen actually noticed her emotion, but couldn't find any comforting word to distract Ollie from her sorrow. The two went to her home to hang out. They enjoyed the super long train video they shot last time. Ollie's house is beautiful and quiet, given to her by her ex-husband. It allows her to escape the grief of losing a child. Meanwhile, Ollie was curious why Fen came to this secluded little mountain village. Want to be neighbors with Jiao. Ever the quiet one, Fen finally cracks a joke. "Could you please come up and talk? That's just not right." As night falls, Cal, exhausted, has fallen into a deep sleep. Awake, Fen is assigned to a room. Ollie kindly prepares a glass of lemonade for him. On the bedside table is a photo of Ollie's child. The bereaved mother openly talks about it. How the tragedy happened. "It was just a moment in a TED Talk, and he fell off the parallel bars. All because of this body that's different from others." The two talked for a while before falling asleep. Unexpectedly, the ex-husband returned home the next morning. Due to the ex-wife deliberately not answering the phone, the man barged in early in the morning. As soon as he stepped inside, he saw a dwarf coming down from upstairs. Both were stunned, puzzled. Hello. Before he could ask for an explanation, another young man calmly walked out of the kitchen. You're Olivia's ex-husband, right? There's a photo of you in the kitchen. Seeing the other's host-like attitude made the man start to doubt whether his identity had been replaced. At this moment, the ex-wife came down from upstairs wearing the shoko, break the awkward situation. She had to ask the two to step aside. Can we talk privately? The two left tactfully. As soon as they closed the door, intense arguing sounds came from inside the house. Van had no good feelings for the aggressive white man. The two joked about petting when they got home. Now that the ex-husband is involved, will their relationship still be the same? Everyone thought Oli would still seek them out. But the result was quite the opposite. Uncertain what the ex-husband and Oli discussed. After that, Oli never saw them again. She didn't even greet them as she passed by. She even sped away. Just as the abandoned duo felt a bit lonely, Van heard news of Oli placing an order at the supermarket. So he offered to help deliver the goods. But upon delivering to Oli's house, he found this woman to be completely different. Her cold attitude seemed like they never knew each other. He then offered to carry things inside was rejected. Then couldn't understand what happened, but he didn't give up on that. He received a letter when he got home. He could finally apply for a library card. But when he went to the library to apply, the receptionist was batting her ashes at him because of his short stature. Strange girls always teased him. You have a nice chin. Then felt inexplicably confused after hearing this. While walking, he shared this with Joe. This left Joe quite surprised. This surprised Joe. Idle. 21. Joe started in love life. Man 21 taking the initiative to go to the bar for fun. Fed arrested his plan. Waited a long time at the bar but didn't see Joe. Just as he was disappointed and about to leave, unexpected committed to the handsome librarian. Here to relax? I'm waiting for a friend, so am I. The two stood together after B stood up. The girl shared some shocking news. She's pregnant, but she hasn't told anyone, not even her fat boyfriend. Then quietly ate fries playing the listener. But when they left the bar, they ran into the librarian's step boyfriend. The girl didn't want to acknowledge him, but the boyfriend clearly didn't want her to go. After a struggle, the pregnant girl was pushed to the ground. The short Fan tried to intervene, but the thug pushed him away. Stop it, Fan! You should leave! A weaker body can easily fall. If I can't even protect myself, how can I protect others? He dared not vent his anger, and had to leave in chain. Late at night, he gazed at the fleeing train outside the window. Then felt very uncomfortable inside. So the next day, he went to the abandoned car to dismantle the seats, to vent his frustrations. At this moment, Joe brought coffee to breathe him. He said he couldn't bless it because his father was seriously ill. It wasn't intentional to miss the appointment, but Fan seemed to hear nothing. He continued dismantling the seats. I've already apologized. What more do you want? Fan realized her attitude was wrong, so she calmly asked to be alone for a while. Joe turned to leave, looking dissatisfied, and left a prying mark. I won't disturb you. Sure enough, from that day on, Joe's food truck never showed up at that intersection again. In fact, who went peace returned to a life of solitude, walking alone and sitting alone, watching boring train documentaries alone, living life step by step. But he always felt like he had lost something, just when his life felt tedious and lonely. The librarian knocked on his door. It turned out that the delinquent boyfriend didn't want her to help. The family learned of this and kicked the girl out. The painful girl begged Fan to let her stay for a night. After all, it was already too late. I hired Fan to come in. The two squeezed onto a small sofa. The wounded souls found healing. After the companionship during her disappointment, their relationship grew a bit closer. Fan smiled as she solved the librarian. Unexpectedly, the little black girl was at this door, watching the two exchange glances. The little black girl got straight to the point, curiously asked if he had changed girlfriends, but Fan told her he hasn't had a girlfriend. The black girl thought Oli was better than this girl, and Fan took this opportunity to speak his heart. I like her too. When will she come again? I don't know. Fan decided not to be timid anymore, so he bravely slowed his bed and went to Oli's door, determined to see her no matter what. Days went by. Finally, Oli appeared, but now she had changed from her gentle beauty, yelling angrily on the balcony into the phone. Her furious demeanor made Fan want to comfort her, but as soon as he went upstairs, Oli confronted him. Oli, get lost! Are you okay? I don't want to see you. Go away. Please, just let me. I'm not your girlfriend, nor your mother. I know, but are you okay? You're not a child. Get lost. Don't come bother me. To be protected by Oli, he sadly went to a bar, tempted enough himself with alcohol, but the people around him looked at him strangely. This unwarranted mockery caused him breaking. Those words seemed to echo in his ears, never fading, although Fan was already used to this discrimination. After being hurt by love, this time he decided not to endure. He angrily smashed the wine glass. Standing on the stool, he vented his discontent. I am here! See clearly! This is why Fan prefers to go solo. Others' probing glances always make him feel like an outsider on the way home. then walked along the railway with heavy steps. The air trauma and anger raged and surged like tumultuous tides. Just when he was still regretting what had just happened, he tripped over a careless stone. At that moment, a train came speeding towards him. Watching the train draw closer, and then hastily tried to escape. Instead, he stood still, wearing a relieved smile, as if this was his best farewell. But the next morning, Dan was awakened by the clear chirping of birds. He looked incredulous, thinking he had just had a dream. But the crushed pocket watch beside him reminded him everything that happened yesterday was not an illusion. Is it because he isn't tall enough? Even the Grim Reaper isn't willing to take him. Since that's the case, what's there to be afraid of? So he mustered his courage once more. He arrived at Ollie's house, but just as he was about to confess, he discovered the once tidy room in complete disarray. He instantly realized something was wrong. Sure enough, he found Ollie collapsed in the kitchen. Ollie. He rushed to help the weak Ollie out. And a sobbing Ollie tightly hugged Finn, and recounted her tragic experiences to him. The reason for her divorce was that her ex-husband had found another woman, and had secretly had a child with her. What's worse is that the ex-husband ignored her pain of losing a child. He even asked Ollie to help raise the child. Faced with this unreasonable demand, Finn didn't know how to console her. He could only take Ollie to the hospital, and during her hospital stay, he helped tidy up the messy room. But while cleaning the desk, he accidentally discovered the phone number that Joe left at the last gathering. In order to salvage their friendship, he mustered the courage to call Joe. Joe accepted his apology outright, then sat in the passenger seat next to Chow. Although the two had some arguments, their friendship still remains. They sat quietly on a bench to welcome Ellie's discharge. The trio reunited once again. They sat on the rocking chair as usual. Silent lunch together, frantically racing the train, walking along the railway, and evening chat, supporting each other with subtle warmth. The train's path goes beyond the visible tracks, for it always follows a straight line, unchanged by any passing train. The train's path isn't just the smoke from the bacon crossing the sky, for a gust of wind can make it vanish. The train's path is marked by those steps. It is the solid step on the ties. It is the soothing whisper in silence. It is the soft hand that carries memories in the quiet of the night. In an instant, the cup transforms into droplets of happiness filling the space. In this gentle and slow-growing love, life begins to no longer evade. It gives the strength to face everything. After enduring pain and storms, they embark on a new journey, a station of happiness.